that out.
You say that, but you're not gonna.
No, I'll edit that part out.
Okay.
I kind of like the natural vibe of things, not like starting and just kind of rolling into it. Like we were just, I forgot that conversation we were just having. What did you just say? Oh, yeah. It gives gives me insight to how our brains calculate things differently and how our outlook, because I'm going to talk about the Martin fucking shark story because I thought it was pretty dope.
That's
but
crazy,
you
man.
automatically wanted to know if he thought that would be okay. I'm just curious what you think he would have a problem with.
No, I don't think he would. It's just like some people aren't like us where we're cool talking about shit, and some people don't like their business put out there like that.
Well, I'm not gonna put it out there if you're telling me that your wife's out cheating on you. Yeah. I'm not gonna put that shit out there. But so Martin was surfing last night. I don't know, right at dawn, about 5 dusk. Yeah, dusk. Yeah, that's the opposite. 7:30. And he said the French guy, and I say French because it's kind of to the story. Did you hear the whole story? Did you talk to him yet?
Yeah. Talked to him on the phone, actually.
So he was like talking about, the French guy was like, oh, fish, and he pointed. And Martin was like, yeah, well, it's that time of the evening, probably mullet or some Spanish mackerel. And he looked down and there was about a 7-foot tiger shark.
As big as a longboard.
Yeah, well, okay. 6, 7, 8 foot, 9, 10 foot. Fuck it, at this point, call it a 10-footer.
20 foot.
Maybe the water makes it look smaller.
Yeah.
But about 6 inches from his feet, and he looked down and he saw the stripes.
Yeah.
Like, not just a shark, baby, a tiger shark.
Mm-hmm. Right underneath him.
Yeah.
What happened was, I guess they were sitting next to each other, and Vincent, it went under Vincent first.
Mm-hmm.
And
Vincent's the French guy.
Yeah, Vincent's a French dude
or he's from the Caribbean or something. I didn't get this
he's
whole
French.
story.
No, he's from France. Yeah, he's just a guy who comes out. Martin was teaching him, but he's been coming out, and like if he's there, and he'll surf with us.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is it was a weird day yesterday, man. So whole day I had this weird vibe all day long when we were out there. Even at Carolina Beach, I got it too, and I was really tripping out because I went to Carolina Beach later in the day, and I was surfing by that shipwreck, and shipwrecks kind of just tripped me out. Period, because like something happened there. There's I'm kind of like weird and superstitious. Like if there was a battle somewhere and it trips me out,
Gotcha.
There was energy. There were people that died. There was violence. There was hatred. There's a lot of energy. Anyhow, first time I'd never seen the shipwreck. And as the tide's moving out, I finally saw it and I was surfing right by it. Like I was catching rights that I could have taken into the shipwreck, but I just started thinking the seaweed was in the air. Seaweed kept brushing me.
Yeah.
And it's the time of year where the seaweed's clumping up and coming in, and the fish will feed on it. And what did that bring in? The next predator.
Sharks.
So that's what Martin was explaining. He's like, when you see that seaweed out there, be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, because like I was telling you, they swim underneath that stuff for cover.
Yeah. And
they swim underneath other fish like stingrays. So
our other buddy, Andrew, who's a Carolina Beach local, he's actually from Carolina Beach in North Carolina, not like a fucking transplant.
He's a local.
He's a local. Well, I got to
doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm a fucking local.
Yeah,
I'm a local.
So he's explaining how it's true about tiger sharks, and if you see one, you're already fucked 9 times out of 10. Like, because if you can see it, that means it's checking you out. It's close to you. Mm-hmm. If it's that close to you, because there was a guy in Hawaii who's...
Well, there's 2 different types of tiger shark, and the tiger shark that we typically get is not the tiger shark that most people would like the aggressive one. There's 2 different types. Yeah.
Well, there's sand tigers, but sand tigers aren't striped.
Okay, I don't know because I'm not.
Sand tigers aren't aggressive.
I only know because I caught a huge one. We reckon it was about 9 feet off of Johnny Mercer's pier, and I was trying to get him because you don't kill them. I didn't want to kill him.
You can't.
No. This is okay. So. You're right. At the time, you can't. This is a protected fish. Right. I don't want to kill him anyway. So I was trying to get him down to the beach. We bring him into the shallow, take a picture with him, and we let him go. Yeah. Okay. So I eventually couldn't get him, and he wrapped around the pylon. And a lot of times, if they fight too much, they'll have a heart attack and die.
Oh, damn.
So we cut it loose. I took a picture of it, as best I could, and we cut it loose so it wouldn't die. But then to come to find out, there was this nerdy guy up there that went to UNCW, I guess, and I guess they have a marine biology.
That's what.
And he was like, actually, no, that type of tiger shark is not restricted. It's not protected. There's another type that, and he explained it. And I don't know if he was right or not, but he sounded like, why would you make that shit up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bull sharks and tiger sharks, they are aggressive though. The ones that they do frequent these waters. There's one that swam up the river in the early 1900s that Jaws is based on in New Jersey, and it was killing people.
Yeah.
They're
definitely gnarly, man. But I like to make the case kind of like they're our frenemy. Like,
oh, yeah. I mean,
I would like to believe that they don't want, because they don't.
No,
they
they
don't
don't.
eat us. They just, sometimes they think that, you're a seal or something. They don't know. But they've got to know something. You know what I mean? They've got to smell, like, okay, they smell you and they're just like, okay, that's not food to me. Yeah.
Tiger sharks are, that's the thing though. They're great whites will bite you once and they'll realize you're not a seal and they won't eat you.
Okay.
They know the taste of, that's what I've heard.
Okay.
Their sensors know.
So tiger sharks be eating people?
Tiger sharks they'll attack just to attack.
Really?
They're aggressive. Like, they're predatory and they're aggressive. Like they like to attack. Like it's like, ooh, I can fuck something up. I'm gonna go fuck it up.
Kind of like a damn king mackerel.
Yeah.
I think
or a bluefish.
I think sometimes king mackerels just strike fish just to be a cunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to eat it because.
But we were talking yesterday, and the topic came into sharks, and like we're talking about our shark experiences because that's one. You spend time in the water, it's always something. It's like it's always in the back of your mind,
always.
Whether you let it psych you out or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do let it get to me, but most of the time I don't. But we're sitting there under Nick's house at Carolina Beach. I was talking to Andrew, and we were actually literally about 2 hours before this happened. We're talking about tiger sharks and about. I was talking about that day when I was out at Access 33, and it was a big day, and I was out with Hank and Colt, and as soon as we got to the back, there was this fucking massive shark just sitting there cruising north.
Yeah.
And that joker, still, that's the biggest shark I've ever seen, like live in the water. I've seen a fucking dead great white when I was a kid. But
let me tell you, they probably swim, especially the sandbar sharks, the bull sharks, the blacktip sharks too. They probably are swimming underneath you,
dude.
Like because they use those channels where the wave breaks, where we sit. And they use those gullies or, troughs, as some people call them, and they just cruise up and down there because that's where all the feeder fish will be.
And these are very healthy waters, healthy waters.
Yeah,
like you always see fish out there.
So, while it's on the back of my mind, I kind of have to look at it like the odds. What are the odds? And I don't believe that there's ever been a recorded great white attack off the coast of North and South Carolina, ever. Like, there's great whites out there, but there's never been a beach attack that was a great white.
Right.
There were a couple of years back, I want to say about 10 years back, in Myrtle Beach, there was a lot of shark bites. I mean,
2016.
Yeah. So it was really weird because I lived in Myrtle Beach at the time, but I was working in Africa, and my wife at the time was telling me she was going to the beach, and I'm like, why the fuck would you go to the beach? Everybody's getting bit by sharks. I don't know how to explain that one.
Yeah. That is strange because, like you said, it was that one summer, and there was like 13 of them, I think. Yeah, 13 or 14. Nothing fatal.
Yeah, just bites, just like, just small sharks, but they just didn't, it wasn't typical of shark behavior because I've seen them. Now, I have not had a close run-in with a shark surfing. I've seen them in the water, like, and maybe it wasn't a shark. Maybe it was a skate. Maybe it was a cobia. But I know, like, when a mackerel or a bluefish, when they shoot by you underwater, they gleam because they got, like, a real reflective armor or scales on them. So I've seen what I believe are sharks, and I've seen them in like waves, and then I've seen the fins come up whenever they attack schools of fish, off way out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
you'll see them when the waves are like rolling up. I don't know what the term is actually for it, but you know what I'm talking about. Before it breaks, sometimes it doesn't break.
Well, I call it when it's walling up or standing up.
When it's walling up. Yeah, like wallows, because it walls up and never breaks.
Yeah.
So you'll see them darting across that. And there was actually, what was it, September. It was the day before I got shot at. Yeah, I always remember that day for some reason because it's like that day.
You fucking got shot at.
It was shark, and then it was just like checking the blocks. Like you're more likely to die in a plane crash. It's like plane crash, shark,
that's
lightning.
Like some weak ass Final Destination shit. Yeah, like they couldn't just get the job done.
Right. So the day before we were at Access 2. Access 2. Yeah, we were at Access 2. And which is right near that inlet, the northern inlet. I always think we're on the south end and the north. I always get confused between the two, but anyways, we're at the northern inlet, and I wasn't paddling because it was so shallow, but the mullet were running like crazy. It was that summer of COVID, so like no one had fished for like 6 months, so the fish were just going crazy. I guess
you think? Wait a minute! Did you just claim on the How Copy podcast that COVID affected fish migration and fish feeding?
Well, people were saying because like there wasn't.
Maybe
there was no fishing going on.
Maybe, but I don't know. I wouldn't think that the
I don't think it would make that much of a difference. Yeah, I don't think they're putting. That's a good point. Like, well, I don't know. Maybe I attribute it to COVID just because I remember it as being the summer of COVID, and it seemed like the animals were like, there were populations of things were just, I don't know. Maybe it's because that doesn't make sense.
Maybe it's because you're high and that you were just there
I'm
more.
not high right now.
Oh shit.
No. So
okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
but
man.
That day I was about to paddle and I turned around because it was no point in paddling. I was just gonna jump on my board and catch the wave. And like Colton was in front of me or behind me, and his face was just like, he was just like stone cold. I was like, dude, what is it? And he's like, bro, shark. 2 sharks. And he saw 2 fucking sharks in the wallow of the wave, right behind me, just chomping mullet. And I was like, oh shit. So we got out and, you know, I told the other guys out there and I'm like, shark again. Because I'd seen one a little bit earlier in the month. It's August.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. I don't know if it's a rule somewhere else in other surf lineups, but I'm going to make it a rule. We just don't talk about that shit.
Why?
Because, motherfucker, if you think you see a shark, you don't know it's a shark. When you hear something go, rah, let me know. You know what I mean? But I don't like it when people are like, oh, is that a shark? Is that a shark? Because I'm like, well, I wasn't thinking about it until now. And as much as I want to be like, I'm not worried about it. I am, but you know what I'm saying? So, plus it's like bad juju to mention.
Okay.
Hey, did you hear about that guy that got his leg bit off surfing? And I'm like, motherfucker, we're out here in the morning where the sharks are roaming. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's just not talk about it.
That guy in Hawaii, he was 58 years old. This was recent in town too, which is pretty weird because like South Shore is very human dominant and you don't hear a lot of shark attacks South Shore.
Yeah.
The main place you hear about shark attacks in Hawaii is North Shore. That's where the most have been. But this guy was out there, man, and he was mourning on his board, and it's on Surfline cam, caught it, and he got hit by a tiger, and it stripped his fucking left leg below the knee. He lost his leg.
I tell you what I have seen surfing is a saltwater croc.
Yeah, in Costa Rica.
And those are scarier than fucking sharks, but luckily, the one that I seen was only about 4 feet long. It was real skinny. Yeah. Not that it wouldn't have packed a punch. It was a baby, and what happened was we were sitting, I was in Tamarindo, and we were sitting out waiting on the sets because they really spread apart out there, and all the fishermen started, because they got those fishing boats out there and they shuttle people in from the beach. They started yelling. So when they all start yelling and the people on the beach start running up to the beach and looking, well, I'm okay, something's going on. So I immediately get all my arms and legs on the fucking board.
Yeah, that's what Martin said he did yesterday.
And I start trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and then some dude was paddling out. And I was like, what the fuck are they yelling about? He goes, I don't know. Apparently, somebody thinks they saw a saltwater croc. And then he was like, yeah, there it is. Like, he wasn't even freaked out about it. He was like, yeah, there it is. It looked like a log, like a stick. And, we kind of just paddled up. I kind of paddled up next to it. Not to go, like, touch it or nothing, but I was, like, a good 40 feet from it. I just wanted to get a closer look because he was going out there minding his own business.
Yeah, man.
But, he wasn't worried about us. He lived right there at the resort lagoon. Yeah. He would just go out, and they said they do it every day. The croc goes out on the same schedule, and he always comes back with a fish, and he lives back there. Huh. And for right now, they like him. I was like, yeah, until he bites somebody's fucking leg off, they're a vicious fucking animal.
I don't know if you're aware, but, even at Masonboro Inlet and Carolina Beach, there's been gators in the ocean. They get out there sometimes. Yeah. There's some big boys out here too, man. That's something that recently
we can't hunt them.
Well, North Carolina, it was extinct for a while, going endangered. The American alligator was, and this used to be a normal habitat for them. But now they're coming back, and they're coming back strong.
Hey, I'm one of those people that's like, fuck the alligators. Like, who cares if they go extinct, man? Like, honestly, I mean, I'm sure there's. Well, I don't know, because then they make some kick-ass cowboy boots. I finally got me a pair last year, but
you ever heard that Pocahontas song?
Farm raise them, keep them that way.
You think like the people Pocahontas sings about? Yeah. Like, can you have a tree without questioning how much it's worth? Yeah. That's the disease of man.
I'm a fucking. No. I don't know what you call it, an industrialist. Yeah, I mean, that's guess just
like how you're wired, man.
Like, people are like, these kids, they spend so much time behind the computer and the game. So I hear parents, and I was one of them. I am one of them, I guess. But we've got to limit their time. Like, you can go on your phone for an hour. There are parents that do that until kids are like 16. But what happens? They turn 16 and they go to the phone anyway. Yeah. So if everything in the future is going to that, then limiting your children's time on computers, you're actually hurting them.
I don't believe that, but that's.
I mean, think about it. You're hurting them in a sense of career.
I guess.
So if every fucking kid comes out of fucking high school knowing how to code, you know what I mean? And your kid wants to go into coding, he's going to be 4 years behind other kids
But
because
how
he's
many
going to have to
kids
go to college.
are actually going on the computer and
A
coding?
lot.
Most of the time when
A
it's
lot.
kids, it's like they're going on looking at stupid stuff that's pointless.
You're right, but there are a lot of kids out there that are learning
is.
how to code, and
Yeah.
they're learning how to do video games. They're learning how to set up e-commerce sites because it's hard not to come across. So it's like I said last podcast, 2 podcasts ago, about the roofing industry, how it's easy and anybody can do it, right? And it's not really easy, but anybody can do it. Anybody can get set up in the e-commerce space for drop shipping.
Yeah.
So you figure some of these kids, birthdays, allowance, spoiled kids, or just kids that, save up their money, you spend about $1,000 and you can set up a website, a drop shipping, an Amazon store. And so what that it doesn't make them but $40 a month, $50 a month. After like 6 months, a year, 3 years, some of these things are fucking making $3,000 a day.
Yeah.
The problem with us, and I'm one of them, it just doesn't happen fast enough.
Yeah.
To spend $2,000 on something, and maybe you're going to start seeing a return way down the road. I'm just like, it's not worth my time. I want to put in, effort and get reward based on my effort. And that's a plague of my brain, but there are kids that are doing that. And when I say kids, I mean teenagers.
Yeah.
So
that should be taught. It should be taught to be industrious, and there are, it's crazy. I was at Circle K after our last podcast, I went to Circle K and they have those new, where you just put your thing on the mat.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is
convenient.
cool. But when I see that, I'm thinking, the way we're going towards a time when the machines will do everything for us.
But we're already there.
But then
We're already
you're going
there.
to take away purpose from people. They don't, we could be
It's
there.
time to evolve. See, when you say stuff like, you think that like, oh, what are people going to do? Well, that's if we stay in this same tradition of getting up, going to work, being blue collared, and going to get a job.
Here's my point on that. They get the machines to do everything, right?
Yeah.
But they're not going to provide people a living.
Well, yeah. So people got to find new ways to make a living, and they got to innovate new spaces to make a living.
Yeah,
that's
they do.
all.
But what else is there to innovate?
Well,
dude?
I don't.
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, that's
about,
what they said before electricity. Every fucking major industry had the haters that were like we were talking about a couple of podcasts ago. Yeah. When fucking some guy went to his board of trustees and was like, look, if we spend $8 million, which was a lot of money in the fucking early 1900s, and we start bottling milk and selling it at convenience stores, people won't have to milk their cows, and they can just come spend 99 cents, or better yet, we'll deliver the milk. We'll have a little dispensary. So that came into, how do you do that? Well, we got to buy 100,000 cows and build this big mega farm. Mm-hmm. There was a fucking group of guys that were like, what the fuck? Why would people go to the store and buy milk when they can just go milk their cow? Because a lot of people back then did do that, and they bought off the local farmer.
I just wonder.
So that's an innovation that's so standard. So you just have to create new ways to make money. So what? That there's not going to be any more $15 an hour jobs? Do we really need more $15 an hour jobs?
Well, when you have people that are living off of those 15-hour jobs and have 3 of them to make it by.
Again, Brennan, you can't slow down the wheels of progression because some people just don't want to get with the program.
It's not just some people though. It's like
no, it's a lot of people. Unfortunately, in this country, it's a good majority of them. But I'm sorry, there are those of us that want society to advance, and by advance means that computers can traditionally do the job of a $15 an hour. Like, well, $15 an hour is not enough to live on. So the thing we should be focusing on, and I say we, like I'm going to wave a magic wand, is to teach people not to go into that as a full-time job. Like it used to be when we were small kids, like every older kid that I knew worked at McDonald's. When I went to McDonald's or Burger King or a place like that, or a movie theater, it was all kids.
Yeah.
But for like the last 15 years, there's people back there that are our age and older, and kids aren't working McDonald's because that's become a career for a lot of people. They go work at McDonald's at one shift and Wendy's at another. So basically what that job is, when they pay you that $15 an hour, that's your boss telling you that if he could pay you less, he would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I hate to say it because it sounds bad, but those are not Those aren't the types of jobs that we need to be worried about. The types of jobs we need to be worried about are fucking like textile jobs and tech jobs and
They're
jobs
going away, though.
Jobs where people can make millions of dollars and lots of money. That's what we should be teaching. That's
What if everybody's a millionaire?
Again,
I don't know what the answer is. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, but how do you know? How do you know that if everybody was a millionaire, that it? Of course, $1 million wouldn't be $1 million anymore. But
you want to know how I know? Here's how I know. All right. 20 years ago, they're talking about, well, we need a $15 minimum wage when the minimum wage is like $7. All right.
Yeah.
We are not that far separated from. We're in the same as a global system now of logistics and economy and manufacturing. All right. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been much change since the 90s on how easy it is to get something made, the materials to make it, and actually we're recycling shit now.
No, it has gotten a lot easier. Yes, it has.
It has. But the price of, like, for instance.
No.
Check this out.
I know where you're going with that, but you're wrong.
Let me talk. No, I'm not wrong. It's people's fucking, at the top, being greedy fucking dick fucks. All right?
Uh-huh.
For instance, a lobster roll, okay? Here we go. The price of per pound of lobster is cheaper than it's ever been in the past 20 years. And I looked this up because I went to buy a lobster roll yesterday after surfing, and it was $30 fucking. It was $17 like 3 years ago. All right. I'm like, why the fuck are these things so expensive? And then, you know how I got into this rabbit hole? I wanted to see. I'm like, well, I get it. This guy's flying in lobster from Maine every morning. All right, fresh.
The cost of that's gone up.
But check it out. How much was I'm like, so how much is a lobster roll in Maine? Well, even in Maine, a lobster roll is $30. But the price of lobster per pound is cheap. It's $9 a pound.
Yeah, because when you buy that lobster roll, you're buying the rice, you're buying the electricity, you're buying the refrigerator, you're buying the guy's time to make it, you're buying the packaging, right. You're buying all that stuff, and all the price of that's all gone up.
Why has it gone up, though?
Because the cost of fuel's gone up, and the cost of electricity has gone up.
Why has the cost of fuel and electricity gone up?
Consumption.
But why? Because we're not consuming any more fuel.
Yeah, we are. We're consuming a lot more energy than we were fucking 50, 20, 30, 10 years ago because there's more people consuming it.
Okay.
When I say
it's supply and demand.
It's not just supply and demand, but if you think about it, again, if you look at a lobster roll and then you look at the price of lobster per pound, you think how many pounds are in that lobster roll? I don't know. Tell me, guess. How many? Is there a whole pound of lobster?
Yeah.
In a lobster? Okay. So, but you think, okay, well, the lobster is fucking $17 a pound, but this is $30. But this comes in a packaging. This comes with rice. This comes with the guy's fucking
rice. Well, it comes in a hot dog bun.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you got the same lobster roll that you've been buying since.
You get the concept.
1972.
You're paying for the bun. You're paying for it to come out of a cart or a restaurant. You're paying for the light bill. You're paying for the brick and mortars. You're paying the guy's salary, the labor, and then the fuel to run everything that's attached to that, the taxes. You don't go into business to be, to lose money. So if I'm in the lobster roll business and it costs me this much to make a sandwich, I got to make like 300 to 400% profit, or else I'm going to lose money. And then why be in the restaurant business? You know what I'm saying? So think about it that way.
They're saying that profits at the top are soaring.
Well, they are soaring because fucking wages are fucking down, and they're figuring out cheaper ways to fucking manufacture. Because again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years ago, we can now move shit across the ocean faster than we could. Ships are faster. We have more airplanes now. Like companies have been building airplanes, and DHL and FedEx. I mean, they can damn near. I can overnight something to Seattle from here as long as I get it there by 3:00. They'll make sure that's a major fucking infrastructure. So every time you go pay $30 to mail it, and then you come back, to mail the same thing a year later, and it's $10 more expensive, it's probably because the price of fuel went up, and the price of fuel went up because there's more fucking airplanes doing everything. And so that's why I don't like to get focused on these fucking $15 an hour jobs. I understand that they're important right now, and the generation that's here, unfortunately, you got to kind of know that when you have a job for life, it's not stable. Yeah. When you work at a fucking gas station, if you consider that your career, you fucked up. Like, that's a bad decision because that's a job. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking job. And a lot of people that they get roped into having jobs, well, unfortunately, that's a very vulnerable market. It's always having a career too.
I honestly say, I wish everyone could just stop fucking there's people at the top that are like, well, now I can make I'm going to make my $10 million.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking make $15 an hour. I'm going to raise the price of everything because I still need to make my $10 million.
Yeah, that ain't lose money. And the
Exactly.
the reason why that is because the shareholders in that company, again, if I go and I buy, 3,000 shares of fucking Microsoft when it IPO'd at $50, I want those 3,000 shares to make as much money as possible. So the more that Microsoft cuts back on and finds new innovative ways and cuts the budget, then my shares now go from $50 to, I don't know what Microsoft is, but just say it was $1,000 and I had 3,000 shares. That's a lot of fucking money. So and then I go buy shares in other companies. So, if the CEO of the company is losing money, he ain't going to keep his job. They don't hire you. Like the board hires a CEO with a mandate, okay, we need to cut we need to cut spending. We need to cut this, or we need to so they start closing down stores, letting people go and trying to make the company profitable again. And usually once that starts happening, Kmart eventually starts to go because somebody else is coming in, fucking them in the ass and beating the competition. But that's what makes this country grow. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes us have the ability to make money. I wouldn't be able to make money if everybody was working minimum wage. Nobody would fucking ever have $25,000 to fix their roof. And they would never be, if you're working for $15 an hour full time, you would never even qualify for a loan to get that. And even if the bank did give you the loan, you wouldn't be able to borrow nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I guess, there have been shutdowns of refineries and stuff since, in the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
There have been a lot of. And anyone, I'm going to say it right up. Anyone who says, the people in government don't affect the economy is so fucking dumb.
Well, of course they do. I think most people, no, the government, obviously the government controls the economy. And that's what they're fighting over, you know? The president does not control the economy. The president of the United States, if the president had as much power as people think that they have, nobody would have wore a mask during COVID. But if you notice, Donald Trump was against wearing a mask, right? But in North Carolina, if you went somewhere, they demanded and something, they wanted you to wear a mask, right? If you went to South Dakota, you didn't have to wear a mask. If you went to Florida, you didn't have Texas, but in North Carolina, Virginia, and California, because local governments trump the president on stuff. He can't just control the country. So he doesn't control the economy. Now, what Joe Biden can do is when he becomes the president, he reverses a lot of the policies that Donald Trump did, put in place, which was to repeal a lot of the regulations. So less regulations mean I can spend less money, means I can fucking sell it for less money. But then fucking Joe Biden comes in, he puts those fucking regulations back on oil companies and factories and all that. So now those companies have to spend money. Well, they're not going to fucking lose money.
Yeah.
The employee suffer. So Democrats, they're all, that's why I think they're so fucking stupid. Is that right there? They think, oh, well, we need those regulations for the environment. Man, they've got you so full, in my opinion. And I just think that people are so fooled.
Anyone who lives in 2023 that thinks they can make a difference with the environment is just dumb, because
they're so fucking, you know what it is? Yeah, go ahead, tell me.
You can live, here's the thing. It's always that's why I've been trying to I have so many thoughts every day of just how much of a paradox this life is, in this modern life, and this existential existence. Because you've got people who are going on TV in the media and they're guilting you for living your fucking life. Yeah. Meanwhile, in India, there's a fucking whole entire river that's full of trash.
Yeah.
There's plastic from all these other countries.
It's so hypocritical.
But you've got this person who
funny.
lives in a mansion. They drive an electric car. They shop at Whole Foods. They buy all their organic, and they're preaching down to everyone about how they're just a giant piece of shit. But they're not making a difference in the ecology, in the environment, anymore than the person who's throwing trash in the gutter in fucking India, in the river. Yeah. And it's just man.
Well,
I don't know what the answer is, but I think there's things that we kind of let just go and are out of control, and it's what the fuck can we do? Because
it's first of all, there's the argument that it's stupid to think you can do anything, but it's the reason why we have shit like that, especially in the European states and the American states, is because it's worth money.
Yeah, I know.
It's worth money to have environmental regulations. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think that we should be throwing garbage in the street. I believe in sanitation. Okay, I don't believe that factories should be fucking dumping chemicals into fucking fresh water and lakes and shit. I don't believe in any of that, and I don't believe that we should be. And I don't even know if it's us, but I'm sure that at the top of the garbage cartel in America, they're probably contributing to the fucking dumping of trash in the ocean.
Oh yeah,
I don't support that at all. But environmentalism and politics, they get these people convinced. Like there's people out there that will argue with you about the environment, on how the fucking global warming is affecting everything, and they don't have any idea what they're talking about. And a lot of times they'll fall back on that and be like, well, are you a fucking weather, or, a meteorologist? Are you an archaeologist?
I just thought of something,
I'm not, so I've got to I'm listening to them. So basically it's like fucking religion to them.
Yeah.
And then it becomes money for people like me. If I saw a way that I could make money and I'm saving the environment, I'm gonna fucking, if I'm making fucking we were talking about this yesterday with my son.
Surf wax.
My son's gonna fucking start making surf wax, and it's a summer project. So I said, okay, well, if you're gonna do it, let's do it. So I got him the molds. It's gonna be like vegan surf wax. It's good for the environment. And
I never knew there was non-vegan surf wax.
No, yeah, because like Mr. Zoggs, they use paraffin wax, and a lot of the wax comes from petroleum.
Oh, I mean,
so for petroleum is oil and oil gas.
Oh, because it's from a dinosaur. Is that why it's non-vegan? I don't know.
No, because it's because it's a fossil fuel. Yeah, and it's a chemical.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just put a label like vegan fucking surf wax, dude. Why put vegan? That's like putting vegan on salt.
Because believe it or not, it
makes someone buy it.
No. That doesn't make someone buy it. Some people won't use anything with paraffin wax in it. So
really?
When you see something like, yeah, really.
So do they drive cars?
No, I'm just saying some people. It doesn't matter.
No, that's my point. How stupid we are, man.
It doesn't matter. It don't matter. What matters is there's people out there that do their best. Okay, to fucking be vegans
with it.
With it. I don't know. Mike's a fucking vegan. So
no, nothing wrong being a vegan. I'm just saying there's people out there like you. Here's my point. People, all right, hate guns, right? But
not everybody.
If you put a gun in a brown cardboard box and put some pine trees on it, would you think fucking people would? You know what I'm saying? Like it's all feel good marketing. That's what I'm saying. Like it's all nonsense, man.
You think it's nonsense, man. You do. You think it, but I don't. I'm saying I'm the other side of it. Like,
just be straight up. Like,
look, if you're going to make something, you have to market it. So what's going to make anybody buy your surf wax versus my surf wax if we make them the same way? Just whoever gets lucky?
If you put vegan on it.
Or you just put sex wax?
But I don't think like... So no, my question is veganism like does vegan have to does paraffin wax?
First of all, I don't think that we discussed calling it vegan surf wax, but it is in fact vegan because it's not even using fucking beeswax because a lot of vegans don't use bees.
That's a good point.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you got to stop jumping to the conclusion that just because you won't buy something doesn't mean that everybody that's kind of like people thinking that all Trump supporters are stupid.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
My whole point there, you just answered my question because it's like
it's no beeswax.
I didn't think about the beeswax yet, but it's like, do people really get upset about honey?
Yeah, some people actually do.
Why though?
You don't. I don't get upset about honey, and I don't get upset about.
I really
bees.
think because I was trying to understand it myself.
But I understand the importance of bees, and I have a great respect for bees, even though I'm allergic. I used to be. I'm not allergic to them anymore. But as a kid, I was terrified of them because I was allergic, and I'm talking like swell up type. And had to have a bee kit at all times. But I don't. I still enjoy honey, and I think that we can coexist with bees. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there are people out there that don't fucking fuck with honey because it's vegetarians, like true vegetarians, don't anything animal product. Like that's theirs, man. You know, we're not meant to eat fucking, and there's a pretty strong argument for that, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because I know guys that are fucking fat, their necks fucking secrete cake batter, and they'll laugh at fucking vegetarians.
Yeah.
But the vegetarians, most of the ones that I know, I'm not saying they all are like this, but most of the vegetarians I know are usually pretty active people and they're in good shape, you know, and they're very health conscious. So while the fucking guy fucking sweating goddamn neck batter is making fun of him, he's like in the majority, but there's a whole fucking industry behind So if you're selling surf wax, right, and you're standing on the fucking corner, and I'm standing on the other corner, I don't want it to be, okay, let's flip a coin because we can have a beer later and be friends. I'm going to be like, I need everybody to come buy my surf wax because mine's better. And why is it better? Well, he uses fucking bees. Well, somebody's going to be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I just need wax, and he's on my side of the street, and it's convenient. But somebody's going to say,
looking for that. Yeah, it's marketing.
Not looking for it. They're going to say, well, oh yeah, you got fuck paraffin wax, fuck petroleum products, or you use fucking beeswax. And people, there's whole stores dedicated to this. So
let's break this down real quick.
So niche, niche. There's a lot of money to be made in a niche.
Let me explain what my point is on this subject.
Yeah,
Let me explain.
Wait a minute.
Don't cut me off.
I'm not, but I want to say this. When I'm watching this back to edit it, I think I got your point.
Yeah,
I think I got it.
So you care so much about vegan surf wax, you got to go look for surf wax that's vegan. But you drove to the beach in your car.
Well, you got to live.
You're wearing clothes that were made in a factory.
Let's be real.
All right?
Be real.
You got money in your bank account that comes from all kinds of places.
Be for real.
That bank account that has to be online for you to see it uses electricity. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's
kind of
like asking somebody if they're a doctor just because you're losing the argument. Are you a doctor?
No, it's not.
Because
does it really fucking matter?
To some people it does, and they try to do.
But does it really fucking matter?
To you it doesn't, obviously. I think everybody understands that. But just because you think it doesn't matter doesn't mean that that's absolute.
Remember the whole fucking turtle straw thing?
Understanding that.
No, you remember the whole turtle straw
of
movement?
Course I remember.
Do you think it's fucking made a difference?
No, and I never believed it would. It was marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all my point is.
Yeah, but at the same time,
great
I don't know, and I doubt it. I doubt it, and I don't think that anybody thought that they were going to save sea turtles. So somebody was raising money, somebody was doing something, and they fucking used it. But people went out of their way because there are people that don't want to fucking affect sea turtles. There are people that won't use coconut palm oil because of what it does to the orangutan population in South America. Cool. Now, granted, it's not the majority of people, but it's a couple fucking 100,000. And if you have a couple 100,000 people going to the apple crate, and my product's in the apple crate, and the apple crate won't let anything it has to be all vegan type shit, then somebody can make money doing that. And I don't think unless someone's trying to force you to not use the oil because of the orangutans, then I don't think there's a problem.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter to you. I get it. In the grand scheme of things, I don't know. It matters to some fucking orangutans that might hold on to their habitat another year before someone else comes and destroys it. But
I don't know. Lately, I've come to the agreement that everything's a fucking joke, man.
And that's cynical and that's sad. We got to get you out of that because that's no way to live, bro. Yeah, I think you just got to keep letting me beat you up. Come on, man. Look at it this way. Try. Look, I don't have all the answers. And sometimes I think about shit that I thought last year, and I think I'm a fucking moron for thinking it. But
it's naturally human to do that,
I'm like, God damn.
I'll step out of here and I'll have a smile on my face because I feel better. It's just sitting here talking about it. It's like today just kind of like got to me because of what's been going on. Yesterday, fucking losing brakes. It's like, God damn, what else? It's like that's just life.
That's what I told you when you walked in. Everybody, even a millionaire, that gets a fucking goddamn flat tire on the road on the way to a meeting. Maybe he spilled his coffee on his shirt and he had to do, and that happens. He's thinking, oh my God, like what the fuck, because sometimes you just have days like that. And
but I was thinking about today too is June, it's the anniversary of D-Day, and like no one seems to care anymore. Does it?
I mean, I think that people do care, but I mean, should we shut the country down?
No. I just think that like we've become so arrogant recently. Arrogance is a huge fucking thing in this society, and it's like, nothing's sacred, nothing's important, nothing's worth remembering.
I got some ex-wives that'll fucking argue with me on that, but I'm not arrogant. We got to go into the same conversation that we had last time. Like, you see it that you think people, and I'm sure there are people that don't give a fuck. Like, they don't know. I didn't know it was D-Day.
Why do we give a fuck about vegan fucking surf wax? And
you don't have to give a fuck about vegan surf wax. You don't have to. Nobody said you had to, but somebody out there will. So what? They're a fucking moron. They don't deserve to live.
Man.
They don't deserve to breathe oxygen. They're stupid because they drive a car.
I think we need to be a little bit more humble as people, period, in this country.
I'm trying to think of all the things that I don't use because of, like, I won't shop at Publix.
Okay.
I will never shop at Publix. I don't care unless, of course, if I'm dying and I'm not going to die. But if I'm driving somewhere and there's a Publix, I'll pass it to go to another grocery store. Because at one time, they were asked to give 1 more cent to pay 1 more cent a pound for tomatoes. Because the Florida migrant farmers were getting fucked, and really it was the cost of 1 cent a pound more. If Publix would buy from these farms, they could pay these fucking people a decent fucking salary, because they were under pressure, because they were really paying these people shit money. And Publix fucking refused it and said, if you do charge us that, we'll just go with the fucking next guy who's fucking at that price. So if you want to keep our business, well, you can't say no to that, because your whole fucking community, and there's a whole chain of people that are relying on selling the tomatoes to Publix so they could sell to you. So because they wouldn't do that, I won't shop there. Now, I went right up the road to Food Lion. Does that mean that I check in to make sure that Food Lion was paying the extra cent? No. So I don't know what, I'm not really making a difference. But if everybody did that, then Publix would have felt it. Just like if everybody stopped drinking, you'll stop drinking Bud Light over a fucking trans activist that got put on a can. But you won't fucking you won't stop going to Publix because the fucking migrants are getting treated like fucking slave labor right here in America.
We won't stop using devices with cobalt mines.
Well, that's the Congo, and that's fucking even worse. Yeah. Because as bad as the migrant workers got it in some of the fucking farming distribution lines, from picking to processing and the plants and all that and the chicken factories, the motherfucking Congolese got it fucking worse, and nobody gives a fuck.
Yep.
Nobody cares. I don't watch the news. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch CNN. I run into clips on TikTok and on YouTube, in the shorts. So I don't know but nobody's talking about the Congolese fucking human rights, like straight fucking slavery. And it's not even being hidden, really. I mean, if you get caught filming out, I guess it is being hidden. But if the government wanted to go in and just showed up and did like a surprise UN inspection, they would see, and they would shut down the fucking cobalt to this industry so none of this could happen.
Yeah.
But guess what would happen? These Chinese wouldn't give a fuck. So the Chinese would be like, fuck it. We'll buy all the cobalt and we'll sell it back to you, because you can't go and get it as Americans. So you know what Americans do? They go over to fucking China and start a company with a fucking Chinese partner, and they set up the deals.
We're so fucked.
So it's like, it's almost it might become in somebody's best interest at some point to shut down all fucking cobalt. Like, American businesses can't do any business with cobalt, because then a guy like us, me and you, we could fucking let's go to fucking China and start a company. Who cares if the government gets fucking 30-40% of it? We got to give 30-40% of it to our government anyway. We'll set up the fucking deal, and then we'll fight to keep the sanction in place. So Americans got to pay more for fucking batteries. And
I guess one thing I've been trying to find is in 2023, what is a medium to being happy and grateful?
Whatever you make it. There's no one can make you happy. There's nothing I can do to make you happy. You got to find it for yourself. But I can tell you the way you're not going to find it, if it is in fact what you're looking for. And that's been fucking from finding cynicism in everything and trying, if you look at everything and process it as the worst case scenario, and every little thing you saw, like I saw a fucking, I got roped into it today because I was waiting to come here. I had a doctor's appointment. I was at the VA. And I was, they're giving me hearing aids. Anyway, so I'm watching a video of these graduating class. It's school's out, people are graduating, and these kids that are fucking getting kicked out of the ceremony because they're fucking dancing, and they're, the parents are getting kicked out of the auditorium because they're cheering. And this is, every year, this is a spark of division. Every year, because nowadays there's a lot more people graduating, and there's not, the money's just not there. So basically on Saturday when your kid graduates, there's like probably 4 other schools graduating the same day. So as soon as you get out, the green fucking robes and cap and gowns get out, the purples come in, boom, 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 graduate and go. So they have this thing where you stay the fuck quiet. Your kid walks across, gets his diploma. Everybody goes and gets it. Boom, 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 boom. At the end, you clap for him, and then it's over. You guys go home. You celebrate however you want. That's the main thought, because people want to hear their kid's name, and they're not going to stop. If they had to stop and say, Shane Wheatley, And then they had to wait 5 minutes for everybody to stop, your family to stop cheering.
Yeah, it's going to take 5 hours.
It takes forever, and
Yeah.
we don't have. They used to do that. They had plenty of time, but now with populations and condensed population, so it's a rule, and I understand it. And at first, when I first heard it, I was like, "Man, fuck that! My kid's graduating." But you always got one. You always got the one parent don't give a fuck.
It's not just one these days. It's more like 20.
Well, all the ones that all of the ones that I went to, the last graduation I went to, there was one dad. There was, well, of course, there was the fucking like one that was like, yeah, and they get up and leave. Like they're letting everybody know, I don't give a fuck. I'll leave. I'm gonna say what I want. Boom, 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 boom. But there was one guy that was like, I drove 100 hours to get here, and I got to drive back tonight, so I'm cheering. Go, Corey! I thought that was pretty cool because it didn't. Everybody laughed. It didn't really disrupt it. But so anyway, that's the video.
Yeah.
And there's people on there that are like, I don't see, these kids work so hard. They work so hard. You should just let them do it. Fuck everybody else. It's all about you at that moment. And I got roped into it.
Yep.
And I tell you what, I got hit so many times. And of course, I'm a racist. And I'm like, I'm talking to these people, and I'm like, explaining that to them shortly and sarcastically.
See?
Yeah, but I don't care about it. I don't let that bother me because that's just easy. When somebody knows that they look like an ass, then they attack.
Yeah.
So whenever you're being called, or when someone goes, well, you ain't, if we're talking about how to treat a kid's cold, I think that 9 out of 10 parents don't need a doctor to how to treat a kid's cold, especially if you got 2 or 3 kids. You've been to the doctor. You've been to the doctor enough that you know what to do. So, but when someone loses that argument, they'll say, are you a doctor? Like, so as soon as someone resorts to that, then I know I won. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with arguing. I shouldn't say this about arguing with a female. When I'm arguing with a female, and I learned
You're
this.
a sexist.
No, well, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what people call me, or else I would watch what I say. But as soon as if a woman is right in an argument, she ain't gonna motherfucking turn around and end it. She's not going to fucking say that's why you got red hair and freckles. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna fucking stick to the point, okay? When she's fucking wrong. And when she's right. And if you're arguing with her, she ain't getting off that. She's going to tell you all the ways you're wrong. But when she knows she's wrong, that's when she'll fucking start talking shit. You know what I mean? Or bringing up shit from fucking. So as soon as your girlfriend says, well, that's why you was fucking around, or whatever you got caught doing, or she was mad at from a year before, that's because whatever you were arguing about, you just won that argument. But it don't do you no good to fucking gloat in it. You should just know it. You know? That's the way I think about it. But. And I don't even know why I went down that rabbit hole, but I mean, what were we talking about?
Graduations.
Yeah. So I got roped into it. And people are like legitimately, they don't know. Like they're really like seriously, dude, I'm not trying to attack you, but what do you think's wrong about it? And I'm like, the fact that I have to explain that to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Like you got it. You got it. As soon as I said it, you were like, yeah, there's more. So we got to get through it. You know?
Yeah.
So.
It's just like, I don't know, man. Narcissism is gross.
But I don't think that that's the norm.
I think it is.
No, because then there would be a million fucking videos. There's a few that go viral. And I've been to graduations. Like I said, there's always one. There's always like one parent, and maybe, in the beginning of it, it first started happening whenever my graduating class, because I didn't graduate with my class. I went the good enough route, but I went to my friend's graduation, and I remember, and I was high as fuck, and I was with some of my friends, and we were like, man, fuck that. When fucking J-Rock walks across the stage, we're fucking cheering because we don't go here. Fuck these motherfuckers. But when it came time to do it, not one of us did it. And I fucking think back on that. It's because we were all Army brats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as much as we wanted to, the system said it's respectful not to do it. Wait till the end. So we didn't do it. But we sure talked a bunch of shit. You know? I mean,
there are certain things. It's just having respect for other people, man. Like yesterday, when I was driving home on 87, dude, like 55-mile-an-hour highway, okay, and I was doing 60, and I'm in the right lane, and this dude comes blowing by me at 120, almost clips me from behind. Where are the cops? They're at the fucking Bojangles drive-through on 401, because I drove right past 3 fucking cops that are sitting there at the goddamn fucking Bojangles. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why are people programmed to fucking not think about others at all, more so than people are compassionate about others?
Because not everybody's empathic.
And
that's not something that you can...
What's the fucking point of being a human?
If everybody was empathic, then guys like fucking Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they wouldn't fucking control the fucking the people that own BlackRock, like the old money, the robber barons, the fucking the Firestones and the Goodyears and all these people that the Vanderbilts that own the world, they wouldn't be able to exist because they'd be too empathic.
Well, we need to change that, man.
There's no, you can't though. But I don't think that you can change that. I think that people, and I don't know how. I don't know if it's zodiac sign, why people are. We think differently. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not empathic.
We all think differently.
I'm not an empathic. I can't have empathy. But I'm not as empathic as you are. Like, I look at things a lot differently, and it's not because I learned it that way. It's just because there are people that are in my family, like my brother's totally different. We learn the same thing, but I'm different. You're different. So I don't think that you could force me through laws to be empathic and and I don't even know how you would enforce someone to be that. But if I'm driving down fucking 87 and it's a 2-lane road and you're doing 55, I'm blowing right by you, buddy, because I'm doing like 75, and I ain't thinking in a care in the world that it's being disrespectful to you. I don't think anybody else is either.
See that right there, that thought right there.
What?
He almost clipped me, dude. He lost.
Well,
he wasn't in
you
control of his
think
car.
that, but I mean, it's your word. You're saying is you're adding some like, I don't know how else to say that. You're adding that to it. Did he? I don't know if he almost clipped you because you think everybody's out to get you.
He almost clipped me, bro.
Okay,
I had to swerve to the right to avoid hitting him. Shane was freaked out too. My son.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah,
that sucks.
There's a lot of
guy
that,
did
man.
it, but I pass people all the time, and if we're on a 2-lane road and it's a 55 and you're doing 55, I'm going around you as soon as it's clear.
It's like, I get it. You got a fucking souped up race car, but you know what, dude? You want to fucking do that shit? Do it. Go fucking pay for track time and blast around the track as fast as you fucking want on a fucking independent track night at a racetrack. We have 3 of them in this town.
Well, no. Okay. So the reason why I say what I said was because if the guy that is treating the street like a racetrack, they're fucking rare. But the majority are passing you. I'm just letting you know the majority of the people that are passing you, they're not being disrespectful. They're not even thinking.
No, I don't mind if a person passes me, dude. But like I said, there's so much carelessness these days in public spaces. And it's because people don't fucking care. Like you just said about the graduation. They're not aware that they're even...
Yeah, but what I said about the graduation was there was 10,000 people there, and it wasn't everybody. It was like, in this case, in this high school, it was about 5 or 6 of them.
Right.
Out of 15,000 people. That's a very small majority.
50 years ago, you wouldn't even have one person doing that.
But you wouldn't have had that rule 50 years ago because there wasn't as many people, so you don't know that. You would
have had,
50 years ago, they had fucking riots.
Yeah, they did. But there was more general...
You need to go further back.
There's more people teaching their kids respect in the house first, even with single parents.
That's true, but...
We've gotten away from that.
Well... I would say
we've improved in other things. There was a lot of horrible shit back then.
But I don't think that we've gotten away from it just because there's a few people out there doing it. Because everybody that I know, all of my kids and all of my friends' kids and my cousins and all their kids, they all know that. They all get taught that. That's the reason why in a crowd of 10,000 people, you got 5 being assholes.
Yeah,
that's a small percentage. So put that on the grand scale. Now, just because you see it all the time, like. Okay, so you watch TV at all?
No.
So are you familiar with like TV commercials or?
I mean, I see ads because.
Where do you see ads at if you don't watch TV? Okay, I don't watch.
I don't watch. I only time I see TV is if I'm waiting somewhere there's a TV on.
So I don't watch TV at all. I don't even have TV. But what I
hate
did,
commercials. Though.
Yeah, but what I did get recently was the Roku channel. Or I had it, but I just started watching it. Well, it plays sitcoms. And sometimes, Jody watches some sitcoms and I think they're retarded, but I fucking watch them after I watch like 5 episodes. Now I come back like 2 days later and I notice that the situation's changed. So I'm like, well, what happened to her and what? So she catches me up and then I'll watch it. But they have commercials. So I've been watching commercials and I've been watching shows that I would not normally watch because Jody. It's just so funny. Because most of them are fucking drug commercials. Like 75% of them are for fucking like a 3-minute fucking ad, and then the last 2 minutes is fucking possible side effects. And I'm wondering who the fuck is watching this? Who the fuck is watching this and fucking hears all that fucking side effects? I was like, my doctor asked me about Solara. I'm gonna get it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get it. Like I hear people talk about taking medication. I'm like, you mean the one that has all the 3 minutes of? They're like, well, I ain't no doctor. that's what we need to fucking cure in this country.
Well, it's
more
with
than
a lot of stuff,
because that's the majority of people are like that. But I don't think the majority of people are blowing past people like "fuck you, coot, I'll kill you, run you off the road." I think it happens. I've seen fucking drivers, that fucking they come up, they're going down Ramsey Street at 80 and they just splitting lanes and getting over, and that pisses me off. I hardly ever see that. But I fucking just think that these commercials, man, and like
they make us look stupid, man.
Well, not only that, they have the most for the sake of diversity, they have the weirdest things. Like, come on, man, you very very rarely ever see a black woman with a fucking Chinese guy. That's rare. I'm not saying it don't happen, but this motherfucker looking like he from China, and she look, she's a black American, and their kid. And they put them together in commercials, and I just look at it like that's so unlikely they're doing it just for the sake of.
It's all for clout.
And like I'm watching this show, and the show is funny, but have you ever watched The Neighborhood with Cedric the Entertainer? It's such a fucking dumb show, man. But Cedric's funny, and that's what she's been watching. The propaganda is so built into this shit. It's like so built in that you wonder why kids that grew up watching this and now they're 18, 19, why they think the way they do, because they're watching this propaganda.
Yeah.
And it's the littlest thing, and I'm calling it out, and I can't watch it.
Cartoons are, dude, like the kids' cartoons from like the mid 2000s are so fucking indoctrinated, dude. Like there's fetishes in there, all kinds of weird shit in there.
Yeah, but they're hidden, right?
No,
is that like hidden messages?
That shit's nuts, man. Someone broke down.
Yeah, but like, that's hidden messages.
Well, it's hidden, but it's still
like my kids watch the fucking Teletubbies. Like until I fucking actually watched it and realized that they didn't pronunciate words. I stopped my first child because
they talk like the Teletubbies.
No, because they would every time that baby would laugh. There was some good fucking engineering on that, because that baby in the sun would laugh, and my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she was like 6-8 months years old. She could be laying down, staring off into space, drinking a bottle, and hear that baby laugh, and she would stand up in that damn, prison cell you put babies in, and hang on the side and jump up and down. So she loved the Teletubbies. So we were like, hell yeah, Teletubbies makes her happy. She got all the Teletubby shit, watched all the Teletubby shit. Yeah. But then I realized that they were, we had a Sesame channel in the Philippines, 24-hour Sesame Street. So she watched that. Anyway, what was I talking? Why was I saying that? Because the Teletubbies, the people will break down how one was satanic and one was gay and one was one was a communist. But my kids never got that. So if it was there, it was a hidden message. But nowadays, the propaganda is not hidden.
No, it's in every commercial, dude.
And commercial.
Show. Like, another thing too in the commercials is they make us look like we're just at the mercy mentally to corporations. Like the corporations are high and mighty and smart, and we're just stupid consumers.
COVID proved that.
Well. It's true.
Not saying that I fall into it, but society, and not just American society, the world society is at the fucking mercy of corporations. Yep. I mean, even if there was something that you could do about it, you couldn't mention it here. No. You know what I mean? Because you just couldn't. There's nothing you can do about it. So you can become one of them and live in the system, or you can try to play the game to the best of your ability and make as much money so you can be as free. Because in our system, unfortunately, money buys freedom. There's nowhere you can go and just go live in the woods peacefully.
I know.
Because if you don't own the land, you can't live there. So you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars just to fucking go live.
That's why I think this whole system's just fucking, I hate it.
But how else would you like it? You want to be tribes? Like tribes of people with no laws and no streets, and if you don't grow it, you don't eat it, or if you can't. So we live in a barter system and there's no money. But what happens when there's a goddamn a storm and the crops get wiped out? You want to live like that? You can't, I mean, nobody. Maybe you do, and there are people that do. There are people that pool their resources. Like say that I think we briefly mentioned it yesterday. If me, you, Mike, and the other guys, two other guys that have VA disability, right, or pensions. If we got together and combined all of that money to one collective pool, not to split with each other, but to then go purchase property, then we could then get a piece of property for $20,000 each. If we all put it together and bought, 5 acres. I'm not talking about like millions of acres, but, and then each guy got like an acre and a half. Well, if you live off the land and you could have that freedom, that money would buy you the freedom, then we could become commune hippies.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But we could not do, we have the power to do stuff like that. But a lot of people don't do it, Yeah. If more communities would do that, then communities wouldn't be so dependent on the fucking government. But money's still going to play a part in that because, there's always going to be a guy. If I'm the guy that's growing, if I'm growing the best potatoes or I can grow the most potatoes on our commune, you know what I'm saying? That makes my fucking potatoes, my business worth more than yours because... Right.
But you're not the guy that's going to grow the potatoes. You're the guy that's going to hire someone to grow the potatoes.
Maybe, maybe. But on a commune, no, I'm just saying, a commune would be what? Like everybody would potentially, just different ways to do it. Everybody thinks that everybody, like you would have to work in the fields and because you're a botanist and I'd have to fucking do something that's to my skill level. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But if all we did was buy the property and never talk to each other again, we just fucking got a piece of property cheaper than if we just went out and bought an acre and a half.
Right.
If I went and bought my own acre and a half, but now I get the benefit of I can use your property, just because I have an acre and a half doesn't mean that you can't come over and draw a line and say, don't extend your fucking cow pasture on to, or whatever you want to call it. But we could do that, but people don't. Why don't we? Why don't we? Why doesn't everybody at that picnic table, yesterday, first, another couple guys go down and buy a fucking a hotel in fucking Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Who cares if we ever made it a hotel? Between 5 guys that split $300,000, we would just live in a resort full time. You know what I mean? But we could do that. But anyway,
everybody has their own stuff going on, man. And a lot of people don't believe in marriage and preserving your relationship these days, but I still do believe in that, and I believe that people want to have they don't want to have consequences for their actions.
I don't believe in marriage.
I know.
I've been married 3 times, so they're like, "Fuck, why'd you keep doing it?" I don't believe in marriage, and I don't disbelieve.
I'm not clowning you, man. But
in marriage, I think that
that's my problem.
I don't need a fucking judge to give me a license to tell me that I am now committed to this person that I'm with.
Right.
Okay. I will never do that again. I've done it 3 times, but usually it's because I don't care. Okay, so the judge says we're married. That's for other people. For me personally, I think that's a fucking, thank you, master. You say I can get married.
Does anyone in this society of narcissism and ego...
Quit saying that.
No, can you let me talk, please?
Yes.
All right. Does anyone think about life beyond 60?
I do.
Really? I don't think people really do.
I do.
Everyone thinks they're going to be young and just doing what they want to do. They don't think about, I've had a disability where my back went out where I couldn't fucking walk. And I could go out and fucking live my own life, but the moment, nobody wants to end up in a nursing home, right? But you're gonna.
No, I'm not. I won't end up in a nursing home.
You say that,
my
but you don't
grandmother's 96 years old. She's not in a nursing home.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You don't know. You never know. You could have a stroke and be paralyzed. And then what?
I have a family. I don't think that I'll end up in a nursing home. But that's not inevitable.
Well, my point with this is we concentrate.
Well, you asked, does anybody think about life past 60? Yes. Now, I do. Yeah. And I think that if you ask the average person, they're going to say, yeah, but you just came at it from a standpoint of nobody does it.
I'm talking about cultivating relationships over pursuing material things. That's what my point is. It's cool. I could totally say, fuck my kids, fuck my wife, just take off, live off my disability, pay my wife whatever, child support.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be a time when...
Okay, so what I'm saying is if you did do that, no, because you have to maintain...
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out, man, what's the
But no, if you fucking left your family right now and you went to go do something, and then you were still a parent to your children, then you're not any worse than the guy that doesn't do that. If you want to do that, this is what I'll say. If you want to go and do that, but you don't do it because you have a wife and kid, you're not better than the guy that goes and does it. You're not. You think you are because that's what you believe. Because plenty of parents are divorced from their kids that have good relationships with their kids, and plenty of kids have relationships with their step parent that becomes like their parents. Yes. Some kids in their divorce and all that, you know, some families do get fractured, but it doesn't make you a stronger, better man because you stay. And that's the way you've been conditioned to think. You think that, and that's good for your life. But to a lot of people, myself included, you are not a better person because you stay, because what you really want to do is go do that. So what makes you any better? Now, the guy that doesn't want to do it, the guy that can't imagine doing anything without his family with him, that might make you a better man. But just simply choosing not to do something because you have a family, I don't think that it's smart. It's a good decision. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to talk you into anything. It's a good decision to do that. But I think a lot of people, and myself included, sometimes we get caught up in how we think about things and think that that's the norm, but it's not.
Right.
But let's take a break because it's been an hour and 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And yeah, we got to cheer you up. You want to smoke some pot? You want to smoke some dope, man?
I'm kind of done.
I know. I know. Should we have a therapy session when we come back? Let's pretend like, okay, so I think that I could be a therapist without fucking going to school. But nobody has the balls enough to let me fucking try to like bring it out of them on the microphone, which
I think I could too, but
nah, I'll let you try on me. You won't get shit out of me, fool. Yeah. I promise you. I'm not, you ain't gonna get shit out of me.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a break.
Word.
Roger. I say again, line Lima, 38 Sierra Papa Victor, 324 429. I'll copy.
Solid copy. Do you have any remarks? Over.